By the time it kicks, let me get a higher scope. By the time it kicks, it'll kick up into the head, and then by the time that happens, that's when you realize to pull down. So that way all your shots will be hitting good. See, it kicks up, and then I'll be pulling down. So you can kind of anticipate that at that point. Because if you aim just for the head, so you're going to kick and then you're going to miss a couple shots before you pull it down into it. So that way you still get that sweet alpha damage before you start missing. So that way you can work it into that. Another thing is when you fire the guns, any gun really, you want to fire just the amount of bullets it would take to kill somebody. Which means, let me get my other stuff here. What's this? So, you want to fire a gun. How many bullets kicked for this gun to kill? It's 3 headshots to 10 meters. I don't know if I have soft point. Alright, to 15 meters. Now, the time you would use soft point ammo, see this weapon, it's a 167 damage to 10 meters. Which means if you can triple headshot somebody and do like just barely over 1,000 to kill somebody. And then I think it's like 1,001 or some weird number. But if you put soft point, then you'll increase it to 15 meters, so you'll increase your chances of your distances of triple headshot somebody. But of course, you're going to be reducing your range because that kind of hurts. So it's kind of up to you, really. If you're going to be doing a lot of building stuff, close range, then yes, put it on. If you're going to be doing long range, you're not sure, you can take it off. That's optional. But 167 damage weapons are like the most important. Cyclone 2, you're going to want it. So that way you can still make that triple headshot to 11 meters, which is a pretty good distance. Like here, I'll show you. So this first one right here, oh, that's like infiltrating dynamite. The first line there is 10 meters, so you can kill. It's not really that damn far now, is it? It's 10 meters. It's not that far. But you see 10. It's hard to see with this 10. The yellow one 20. So those are 10. The one without the yellow is 5. So I can, without soft point, I can kill to here. With it, I can kill a little bit further. So this heavy assault has a shield on. I can't kill at that. It's 3, 4, even 4 shots. It still takes 5. So 167. Oh, that's a cyclone. But yeah, 167 that one and the blitz. Blitz is a 125 to 6 meters. So that's 4 headshots to 6 meters. So that one, it's another weapon you're going to want soft point on. Pretty much all SMGs you can have soft point because the muzzle velocity is so bad that 10% reduction is not that big of a deal. And this gun, use blitz, preferably use the forward grip. I'll show you why. Because the forward grip, you can fire like 15 to 20 round bursts. Look at that. If you're not moving, 15, 20 round bursts, like 20 meters, you can drop people in like the head. And I'll try it with strafing. So you can fire like massive bursts. And you don't want a compensator because then that's going to ruin your hip fire. And you still, you see the hip fire in this? You can still hip fire people up to 10 meters with this easy. If you go outside 10 or if you're closer, you can, like 20 meters, see? That makes it a little bit viable to 20 meters. And see, the EM1 is nice because it has that sweet 20 meters max damage, 143. So you can just do a little bit more damage for pretty much the size of a room. But still, you do not need soft point because 143 doesn't really make that much of a difference to kill somebody. 5 more meters on this gun specifically, so high velocity. So extra 10% on here, you know, you're doing like 690. Things like firing like fast with a sniper rifle, dropping people. I have these attachments because I usually use it for close range building room. But this thing right here, same thing. You see how it's kicking a little bit? I aim for the neck and then it kicks up into the head. So that way, by the time like the 4th or 5th round hits the target, it's going to be all in the head and it's going to just drop them. So you just fire just enough bullets to kill somebody. So how many bullets does it take to kill somebody? It's like 4 or 5. So you look at my bullet counter, that's how many bullets that's how you know when to burst. So that's how you know the burst. You want to burst the amount of rounds it takes to kill the individual. Unless they're outside your like 20 meters, and then that's when you start doing like longer bursts. Like here, the EM6 is a little bit different. So like out here, it's a little bit harder. So I'll do like half a burst. Because usually about the burst it takes to kill somebody is when the gun starts becoming uncontrollable. Now another thing is if you're missing the target, like you ran up too fast, and you're like still spraying, you can stop for a second. Like if you have a long 1v1, just stop and pause because you're both probably cone of fire is ridiculous. So like I'll fire a whole bunch and then see it's not that great. Okay, let's fire a whole bunch and then you see you're like this and you're like barely hitting the guy. So now that's for the guns. Now what you want to do is you want to strafe. When you strafe, the amount of strafe is this. So you want to strafe about one full body length. See these squares? So I'm going to strafe from here to here. That's it. You want to strafe about shoulder to shoulder length, like you're strafing. This is how far you want to strafe. So that way it's harder to track somebody, because if you just strafe a little bit like this, like see, you're facing each other, it's not really that. I can still be firing like in the middle here, and I'll be hitting them on both sides because it's little baby strafes. So you want to be like this. This is how far. So you can hit on each side of the corner. And another thing is when you're firing at guns, you want to. So like if I'm strafing this way, I want to fire on the left side here. If I'm strafing this way, on the right side, because then the bullets curve, or you curve. You got to compensate for the fact you're moving. So you just got to make sure you're going. It's a little weird. You got to get just for distances. Same with the Godsaw. So the Godsaw was nerfed. So the max damage, whatever, drops off. So instead of 167.85, it's 143. So 143, you can't triple dink somebody, but you can triple dink somebody out to, you can kind of, it's 167, it's like right here or something. Pretty sure 170. So you can still triple dink somebody out to like, I don't know, is it like 42 meters? And that's with without this. If you use this, it reduces it by 2, so it's like 40 meters. You can still triple headshot somebody to 40 meters, even with high velocity on. So that's why I just keep high velocity. It doesn't really make that big of a difference. And then this bad boy it's just a beast. You can still, like, what is that? 10, 20, 30. The guys in the 30. Guys keep changing. 10, 20, 30. Here, 30. So you can still triple headshots, 30 meters, maybe a little more, come at an angle. With the guy in the back, triple headshot to the dude in the back. And if you check, see I have high velocity, so you can still kill people at a good distance. Also, this is another high kick weapon. So I don't know, I was just playing around with this. But same thing, aim for the head, pops up in, aim for like the neck clavicle spot here, and it pops up into the head. And then you'll bring it down. You see how I shoot, and then by the time I react to the recoil, it's in the head. See, that's why you aim for the neck clavicle area right here. Unless they're like this, fucking point blank. But like anything inside like 5 meters, you just kind of want to shoot. So what happens is you see these crosshairs. And that's the general idea where your bullets are going to go when you fire. So whenever any enemy is, let's say 70% of their body or so is inside of these crosshairs when you aim, you don't want to be going for the head because you see only maybe a third of his head's in the crosshairs. You want to aim for body. So that way most of your shots are going to hit instead of miss. So that's why it's just good to aim here. Once they're inside the crosshairs, that's how you know when you should be hip firing, is if the enemy's in the crosshairs. Because if you're point blanking somebody, like in your face, you can't really strafe or track the target if he's like point blanking on you. Because, oh, if I can get one close enough, here we go. See, look. Because then you can miss really easy. He can be like strafing, he can be like that. So it's better just to be like this, and you'll have that extra movement speed. Okay, another thing is, if I had somebody else here, it'd be easier, but, so you want to double back. So like if somebody's chasing you or whatever, you hung behind the corner and you wait. You wait about 2 seconds or so, and then you jump out and you fire on him. You'll have client-side advantage because you're hiding, peeking, and you're gonna see him like a quarter of a second before he'll see you, and he's gonna most of the time he's gonna be in a full sprint because he just wants to kill you. So that's why you wait a second, then you peek. Don't And when you peek, you want to peek here and most likely just be hip firing. But if you know he's kind of a good distance away, you want to peek immediately, go to ADS and just start laying in on him. But that's like a little trick to think if you're being chased. And let's see what else. Okay. And whenever I like to play in before I come on, if I haven't played for a while, or I got a new gun, or like I'm telling you these different changes of sensitivities, you want to come in here. I like to just stay here in the spot, like right here. See, because you have a good spot here, different elevations, good distances. I got this guy like 20 meters, 10 to 15, 8 or 9, and then 20, 30. So here, practice so you can hit people at different ranges. It's also good to practice when you're hitting people in the back, because sometimes if you don't see, look, it looks like I'm hitting in the back, but I didn't get any markers for headshots, because the head is a little bit higher up. See, look at that. If you shoot in the neck here, it doesn't even headshot. But if you're facing somebody, you shoot them like in the neck, it's a headshot, because your head is a little bit lower than your back. So that's why when you're aiming at somebody, you want to just, from behind, you're going to have to aim a little bit higher than you want normally. And what I do is that's how I go to test my sensitivity, because I just turn around fast as I can. See, I'm using my sprint speed to help move me forward. So see, I use my sprint a little bit to when I'm like turning to switch targets, just in case I'm like in the middle of a fight here, and it makes it harder for like say these two, like I'm actually in a room with multiple enemies. This makes it a little bit easier for me to dodge their rounds, because then I'll be like pop up. So you want to just kind of get used to moving around. It makes it hard for them to hit. Unpredictable for you too. That's why you see those people in the rooms killing like 3 or 4 guys. They'll go in the room, pop, pop. And this gun is actually pretty good if you don't, because it still has that movement speed. It's 0.75 like SMG. So you can actually ADS with this, because I don't know. I don't seem to do very well hip fire in this thing. So I'll ADS a lot. See, there's none of those are even headshots, and those pretty good. But you can just do a headshot. What you do is you want to do a quick headshot, just enough to zoom in. You don't even have to zoom in all the way. Like, see this rocket launcher? See how that crosshairs fire in? So you don't even have to wait until the gun comes up, and you can still get that like 100% accuracy. So you just kind of like quick tap it, just like boop, boop, and you'll get that. You'll still get the benefits of the nearly 100% accuracy without waiting the extra half a second to fully bring the gun up to animation. So you don't have to. So you just have to bring it up till the crosshairs get small. So you just barely touch it. See, 100% accuracy every time. So that, because you want to do anything that can save you time. See, look at that, beautiful. It's another one for this. Just to fire. Any rocket launcher really does that. Another thing is, if you have the Phoenix, you know when you fire this, you press T. Now, what you do is, if I have my flight sensitivity up, this affects the. I gotta turn it down real low. It affects like how easy you can turn. Like I can barely turn. I'm using like my whole mouse pad. Now I turn it back up. I don't know, whatever it is. Gives you a little more range of motion to it. You can hit people a little bit easier. That's just another little tip for that. And also, when you have it like this, when you're doing aircraft, it'll feel like you have like the dog fighting frame, because you can move and turn so much easier too. All right. Another thing everybody knows, when you put a beacon down, you'll put a beacon down, and then you can put one of these literally over it, and it gives your beacon more health. Especially I like to do is put it next to a building, like say here, right? And then there's like light assaults going to be on the roofs. So you would put it here, put this on top, so that way the light assault has to literally jump down here himself to kill it. It makes him an easy target. So he's pretty much going to have to sacrifice his life to kill that, and plus he's going to have to kill the actual. So you might be able to get it before. Always, 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 always. If you're, no matter what, always carry this. It's like the most important thing. Top of that. Oh, here's another little tip that nobody really does. I'll show you guys. It's pretty cool. Now, in this game, you know, when you're like shooting behind like you're behind somebody you want to shoot, you know, shooting over his shoulders. You know, you're at a big fight, you know, and you're like, oh, I don't have a firing solution or space or whatever. So what you can do is, you get an object. Don't know why it's out of bounds. Oh, that's fucking good. Okay. Anyways, let me see if I can do the engineer. What I'm trying to do is, if you put that on the ground, huh? Well, I can't do it here. But if you put the this one here on the ground, you'll actually stand on it, and you'll be a little bit higher. You'll be, instead of like this, you'll be shooting like just above your friendly's heads. So you have to be a little more careful about the bursting still. But you'll be able to at least pop off a couple shots, or if you have a grenade launcher, you know, you don't have to worry about friendlies. And let's see here. Also, for grenades, it's really good to learn how to throw grenades, because of the fact that, let's see if I can do this. Where's it at? Where's it at? There it is. All right. So, like, say there's like a beacon up there, and you can't really get it, right? So if you can get angle straight up and down like this, like with the tip, say you'll kill it. Now, another thing, if you ADS, your grenade will go in a different direction. It's a little bit more accurate. You can actually fire it. Like, how would I get it from there? Like through here. You aim there, fire the grenade. See? And it went like right where that's at. Now, if I do it without ADSing, either way, but that's how you would fire in Windows. You just figure 20 meters. So like from here to like there, here. I'll make some more grenades. So if you're not really sure about aiming, whatever, for grenades, you can ADS and just fire it. See? So 20 meters, it usually goes right where that is at, up to like 20. See how the ADS is a little bit different? But yeah, you have to figure out how that, and also when you're throwing it, like I'm aiming at his feet, and it's going to go a little bit past him. Because right where you're aiming, that's where it's going to first hit the ground. So like here. That's going to hit the ground there, and then it's going to bounce like fucking 8 meters. So I'll throw it at his feet. I'll throw it here, like halfway, so 15 meters. It goes about another 20. So you got to figure it's going to go like another 5 meters from where you throw it. And another thing is, like, say you're in a room, say this is like here, and then there's a wall here, and this is the doorway. Now there's people here, right? Firing, like you can see on the little radar. So you do is you aim for the middle, about head height. You got to get the accuracy down, not very good. But maybe here. But you want to kind of practice it, and you can kind of hit. If you go a little higher, this one's not a normal destination of a thing to hit. But yeah, you can bounce off walls. It's always good to do. But yeah, about the like revive, you can also kill beacons. So like if I want to shoot here, straight up, and it usually goes about 5 meters from where, if you're looking straight up. So you want to aim down a little bit. That should go probably about here. Yeah, see. So you want to get that down, but that's a really good way. Is like if there's a beacon here right next to it, you can look. Just say it's like right where that blue light is. So you can go here, straight up, fire it. And it goes about 5 or 6 meters from when you throw it like vertical. Yeah, see, so it'll hit. So here, so it's like 5 meters from straight up. and then it hits. See?